All right, guys, we're on rapport or report, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I don't even like to call it rapport. Let's get that out of there. That's stupid. That's something that's old, antiquated. We want to talk about connection. Connection. We want to make. We want to make a friend. We want to make friends. Someone that you feel comfortable talking with, because that's the person that's going to buy. Let me adjust this down just a smidge. That's the person that's going to buy. They're going to talk to their friends. They're going to talk to someone they hold in high esteem. You want to be that person. You want to be coming from a place of expertise, genuinely clear, good knowledge, and genuinely caring. A friend. Connection should be happening the entire pitch. The second you walk onto their property or you pick up the phone and you say, "Hi, my name is whatever," you are trying to connect with this person for them to engage with you mentally so they are invested in the conversation. This should be happening the whole time, but the most important time is right before that pre-close, because that's when they need to feel closest to you, because you're getting ready to pseudo ask them for the business, okay? Laughter is king. If you want to connect with people, get them to laugh. If you can make somebody laugh and make them feel good and happy, then you can also make them feel sad, down, or upset. You can get them to feel however you want. You want to put them on that roller coaster. Like me, the best pitches I've ever done, for a good 20 minutes, we're laughing, cutting up, and kidding around, but then for about 10 or 15 minutes, we're really serious. Then I deflate the room and I bring it back to a little bit of laughter, a little bit of cutting up, kidding around. Then we're back to business. I'm signing deals. I'm finished. I'm out of there. It's a fun, light experience. It's serious at times, but overall, I'm keeping it light and fun. But I'm still being serious, I'm still being to the point, and I'm making sure they're feeling those emotions. The best place to build rapport is really easy. If you aren't a person that is very sociable, some people just aren't very chatty, they're not very sociable, they don't have a naturally good sense of humor. You will get better as you talk to people, you'll get a feel for them. A good place to start is talking about yourself. Everybody can, if you can't laugh at yourself, everybody can relate to a kooky family member. Everybody can relate to a lousy job or a funny job or something shitty that happens on a job. Everybody can relate to pets. They probably will have them. Most people you talk to on the phone, definitely people you meet in person. Cities that they lived in or where they live, they can relate to that. They probably have pride in that. You'd be surprised. And then events. So be careful with political events, but like natural events. For example, like a while back, we got evacuated because of a big hurricane in Florida. Well, I got evacuated to Boca Raton, where me and thousands of other Tampa people went, and we're just crowded everywhere. And I can talk about that. If they live near you, did that happen to them? Or can you believe it? They evacuated us for some rain. We'll talk about an overreaction. It just gives you something to talk about. But you have to have these topics ready to go. And they will find, and you can go, I personally, so this is a secret, when I first started, before I could really read and feel people's energies and kind of how conversation was going, I had a good emotional IQ. Before, I would go right down the line. I would talk about, my crazy family. I would talk about a lousy job that I had where funny shit happened. I was a janitor at a nightclub. I talk about my dog. I have pictures of him in my phone. His name's Merlin. He's awesome. Talk about cities. I lived in Baltimore. I lived in Ocean City. I lived in San Francisco. I lived in Tampa. I've lived a bunch of places. Pretty cool. You never know what somebody's going to latch on to. Been a bunch of places. Events. I've lived through a bunch of crazy events. I got stuck in an elevator one time. It sucked, but it happened. I got stuck on a roof one time. You never know. I got bit by a dog. I've had so many crazy, and those are my personal life events. It can be like normal life events. Like, where were you when the tsunami hit, or whatever. I've been to Yellowstone and, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can literally pick whatever from your life and just bring it up in conversation and see how the person reacts. Now, obviously, jobs and family and pets are going to be your funniest group, but I've had them from San Francisco. I've had them in events. I've been like, hey, I went to WrestleMania, 2 weeks ago. If I think they're a wrestling fan or they can relate, they might say, oh, no, I don't watch wrestling. I'd be like, yeah, it was cool. And then right back to the thing. I got a crazy brother and, I got a lunatic set of cousins. I did a job where, one time I worked with ATMs and I had $1 million in cash. Isn't that crazy? You can just relate. But you're trying to have them talk about these same things back to you. Because if they start talking about these after you bring it up, like I intimately know a couple of my clients. I know like their whole family because they told me how screwy things are. You know, like I literally had an old lady that she got locked out of her house and her cousin came over and they sat in the car and waited till the locksmith came. And, you know, as they were sitting there, you know, she got attacked by a bird in the car. Like, it's just like crazy shit. But, you know, we connected on that and I made the sale because, you know, her name was Miss Terry and she got attacked by a bird. And I was like, hey, shit happens. I got attacked by a dog a while back. You know, we connected and we laughed about it. Connected, pre-closed, closed. The rapport situation happens the second you start talking to them. Second the interaction, you're building rapport. It's not like, hey, we've got 10 minutes. You know, that's the beginning of the pitch. We're going to build rapport. That's why I do it in the middle, because it should be happening the whole time, all the way up to the close. And then the most important rapport that you will build is the post-close, which I'm going to get into in a little bit. But you're building rapport that whole time. It's not like, I hear so many salespeople are like, hey, rapport only takes 2 minutes. I do it at the beginning and then you don't really need a lot of rapport. The only time you don't need a lot of rapport is when you're selling something that's a commodity. So like insurance over the phone, there's not a lot of rapport there. They're either buying it or they're not. You're not selling them insurance. They're buying insurance, you're helping them, and you're being the best person for the job. There's not a lot of rapport. I literally talked to a person, read the script like a robot. You just have to call enough people, which is another section. But the point is, certain products people just buy and they have to want to buy it. You can't sell it. Other products need to be sold so that people can understand it. For example, like gutter protection. Half the people I talk to don't even know what the hell that is, much less how did I sell $2 million of it. They don't even understand. It has to be sold. You know, most home improvements, most higher ticket things have to be sold because people want to feel connection to it. Where if it's something they can just buy and cancel willy-nilly, man, you know, like particularly, I say not to pick on life insurance. I sold a lot of life insurance. I love life insurance. It's a great product, it's a great business. It's just, they could buy it today, change their mind tomorrow, cancel it, and all your commission just went out the fucking window. That's something that there's no harm, no foul. You know what I mean? For them. Or like if they bought a roof, or they bought a new truck, or they bought a new sofa salesman. I literally met a guy that sells furniture. He makes 250 grand a year. Sofa. I got a $3,000 sofa. He sold it to me because I was like, I only need a $500 sofa. And he was like, you're kind of a big guy. Why don't we go sit in some nicer sofas and I'll show you the difference. $3,500 later, I needed it. I was like, shit, line it up. Like, you're right. That couch sucks. What was I doing? My point is, the salesman can make a huge difference if they can connect with the people. It just so happened that the guy that sold me my sofa was also a giant guy. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but I'm about 6'3" and about 300 pounds. I've always sat in sofas and sunk down because I'm big and heavy. Well, so is he. And he was just like, hey man, you're a pretty big guy. You're about my size. Why don't you check out this sofa before you leave? I just want to show you the difference so you get an idea. You don't got to buy it. Just check it out. And I was like, wow, this is freaking crazy. He goes, yeah, you know, even bigger, we wear furniture out. You know, have you ever sat in a sofa and after a while it has your butt divot? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, I got this crazy brother. He's even bigger than me. And then I literally, in my mind, I was like, family story. Here we go. And then he literally went right there. He goes, what do you do for work? And I'm like, occupation, family story, occupation. And then he went over to the city at the time. We were in San Francisco. And I was like, man, you're good at the sales process. And he goes, yeah, I've been training. And I was like, you seen my training? And I think he may have, but he said, no, they train us here. And I was like, yeah, sure, guy. Weird that you use the same shit I always say. But anyway, my point is, connected with me. It wasn't even my sales guy. I had a different person helping us. This guy just happened to walk over and was like, hey, I want to show you something. Always connect. The entire pitch, the entire presentation, anytime you're dealing with a customer, you're connecting little bits at a time. Rapport, think of it like grains of sand. If I threw 1 grain of sand at you, it would hit you, you wouldn't even notice it. If I threw a truckload of sand at you, it would overwhelm you. Same concept. Little pieces add up to a lot. Think of it, 1 piece of sand versus a sandstorm. Huge.